Hey, good morning, y'all. It's Jackson Denny again. So, last week I wanted to create a video on motivation. It was asked by a user by the name of, I believe she's very open about this, reason for the season. I thank you for asking this question. And the question goes a little something like this. Hi, Jackson. I saw that you made a video to a question. I also was wondering if you could possibly give your thoughts on something I have been going through a lot lately. I've lost passion in my hobbies, interest, and in my education, feeling there's no reason to do anything anymore. It is just like a general feeling of seeing life in gray, for lack of a better phrase. What could one do to improve this lethargy and find new ways to find purpose? I would greatly appreciate if you could get back to this question. I really do gain a lot from your ideas and theories on life. Okay, thanks for the question, reason for the season. You're awesome, by the way. She followed up with a couple of more, facts about her life, which really helped me understand her more before I answer that question. Secondly, I wanted to do a tandem or two for one, because I also have another one of my followers who's a great friend of mine who asked me this question, or made the statement and then asked the question to follow it. Jackson, I feel like I'm always working and pushing myself to be better. Along with working on the actual business, I'm always working on myself too. I find that goes hand in hand. By the way, I'm watching your videos. My question to you is, do you feel like you have crazy energy and that you move really fast too? How do you deal? I barely sleep anymore. I'm so stimulated. Okay, so on one end, a person is completely unmotivated, lethargic. On the other end, I have another user who's always motivated and stimulated, okay, via her interaction with a lot of friends, family, or new experiences to her. Okay, so going back to reason for the season, motivation comes from our interaction with other people, the ways in which we are inspired by other people, other energy, how we relate to things around us. People don't necessarily, we aren't just necessarily limited to inspiration by people. Sometimes we may enjoy artwork or music that inspires us, words that may move us, or whatnot. And by interacting with more around you, experiencing with more around you, you may encounter all of those inspiration, and the inspiration comes from an infinite source. Okay, so if you're looking for new ways to inspire and motivate yourself, expand on your experiences in that sense. Secondly, you could expand on your particular mind by doing so. You virtually can see more of the options around you. And when I say expand on your mind, what I mean is to work on contrasting exercise, the exercise of the yin and yang. Contrasting exercise simply means break out of your comfort zone, do things opposite to what you were taught, or do things in contrast to what you were taught. Opposites are full contrast or perfect contrast, whereas contrast could be simply if you are taking a path to A to B, you don't have to go the opposite direction, but perhaps move in a different path, make two rights as opposed to two lefts, etc., to get to a certain destination. Okay, so whether they're contrast or opposite or perfect contrast or opposites, practices and exercises, whatever works for you, whatever eases you into the process of contrasting exercises. Okay, what I like to do is I like to go out in the morning and walk tremendously slow and teach myself to walk tremendously slow, because I notice that helps me slow my vibration down, and the more I am slowed down, the more zenful I am, and the more clear-minded I am. And as a result of such, my body and energy stabilizes, and it makes me I'm stabilized in the sense that I could sleep at night. All of my thoughts are a lot more efficient as opposed to scrambling all over my head and making it very difficult for me to ease myself to sleep. Okay, so that helps, answering the question that one user had about being so stimulated that she couldn't sleep, and also a reason for the season, how your mind could be so full of all of these, why am I lethargic, why am I purposeless, why do I feel the way I feel, that you can't sleep at night. So go out and try those contrasting exercises, perhaps slowing yourself down by walking tremendously slow or talking tremendously slow. And then once you've gained that, you could really mix up, go fast or slow simultaneously. And that's my idea of the yin and yang, having the best of both worlds, being able to see life from an AM and also FM frequency standpoint, and truly having a holistic mind from that sense of seeing things for what they are, not sitting there, discriminating it as something bad or something good, and alienating yourself from yet another perspective from the holistic mindset. Okay, so I hope that answered both of your question. About how you could stabilize the mind, gaining a little more zen, so that you could sleep at night. Lastly, I want to. I'm gonna have to edit this part out because I had one more for you. Lastly, thankfully, the user who also asked, why is my mind so stimulated? Being that it's so stimulated, I want to slow it down so that I can sleep at night. I want you to both understand this, that the most important part about this entire process is to see yourself from a very holistic perspective, from a very idic and internal perspective, which means to understand that you are already perfect. Okay? Building the foundation and the understanding that you are already perfect, you can develop that and expand on that. Once you understand that and expand on that, you virtually have a stronger foundation and a stronger connection with your inner self. And with that stronger connection and also that stronger foundation with yourself, you can begin to tell yourself what you want to become. Okay, so one precedes the other. Building the foundation, having that prepared is so important for your next phase in life, if you so desire to move on to the next phase in life. Okay, so I want you both to understand that you want to be here now. Don't think about tomorrow too much or the future too much. Don't think about the past too much. Be here now. Understand that the now is already perfect. You are already perfect. Once you have that firmly established in your own mind, you could be at peace with yourself, and all of that stuff, chasing perfection or chasing a desire or a purpose, no longer frustrates you, no longer builds anxieties in you. And this really explains why most people that do chase perfection, you can get there with the external mind in chasing perfection, but you end up frustrating, building so much anxieties upon yourself that you end up catching cancer, becoming very symptomatic in a sickness sort of sense. All right. So most people, you want to build that foundation, live in the now, practice that for some time, whether it's a year, 3 years, 5 years, or whatnot. Now develop that understanding, firmly establish that foundation before you start to impress an idea of desire, a chasing, a goal, because you no longer feel as though you're in the rat race, but rather you're pursuing an idea, a desire out of passion, which truly makes the process very swift, and makes you completely passionate about what you do, as opposed to being passionate and also frustrating at the same time. You want to be swift and passionate and chase free. Okay, simultaneously. You want to be idic and egoic mind simultaneously. You want to have a foundation that is from the inner self, as opposed to, as well as having a goal from an external perspective. Okay, I hope that helps. And I hope that you guys could, de-scramble all of that which I just said. All right. Thank you both, Reason for the Season, for your question, and also Jojo for your question. I appreciate you both for listening. I thank you for your time.